Heroes Rising has finally made its US release, which means I can give you guys my review on the movie, which the movie was amazing. Oh my god. Now, the way my review is going to work is that the first section of my review will contain no spoilers, and the second section of my review will contain spoilers. Of course, I will let you guys know when the spoiler section of my review begins, so that way those of you that have not seen the movie can avoid the spoiler section of the video. With that said, let's get started with the review. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you who do not read the manga are wondering whether or not seeing this movie will spoil any of the upcoming arcs that have not been animated yet. And I do have to say that there are slight spoilers, but only in character design. Since we know the movie does take place after the My Villain Academia arc and set in the winter, certain characters have different outfits and changes in their appearances. For example, Endeavor was shown in the trailers for the movie having a huge scar on his face, which is something that has not happened yet in the anime. So certain character designs and changes like that will confuse some of you anime only watchers, but gladly those are really the only things that kind of spoil some upcoming arcs, and none of the previous arcs are ever brought up at all throughout the movie. So the movie is pretty anime only friendly. Now, I really want to get into the amazing animation for this movie before I start talking about the characters and the plot. Now, the animation for this movie really exceeded my expectations. The fight scenes were beautifully choreographed and animated, and it was leagues better than the fight scenes and animation in 2 Heroes. And for those of you who complained about Season 4's animation not being so good, this movie is where Studio Bones put most of their attention on, and it shows. And you know what? I'm not even that mad about it because the animation was absolutely wild. With all that said, when it comes to the villain 9 and the plot of the movie and Class 1A, 9's motivations throughout the movie weren't all that great. It was just the basic I'm trying to create a world where only the strong rule type of ideals. And even Bakugo acknowledges how basic 9's ideals were, which had me cracking up in the movie theater. Also, 9 really just reminded me of a Walmart brand All For One, but he was definitely a badass when it came to fighting and showing off all of his quirks. But like I said, his ideals were mainly the worst part about 9's character. And I honestly didn't really expect much from 9 and his group of villains, but they really surprised me with how cool and powerful they were. And they were definitely an upgrade and way more memorable than Wolfram and his group of villains back in the 2 Heroes movie. And let's be honest, how many of you guys even remembered that the 2 Heroes main villain's name was Wolfram? As for Class 1A, they were absolutely amazing. Every single one of the students had their own little moment to shine throughout the movie, and especially during the fight scenes. Which, since the series mostly just focuses on Deku's journey to becoming the #1 pro hero, most of the side characters do not get as much screen time as Deku does. So it was definitely really fun to see everyone working together, trying to protect the island and the 2 children Maharo and Katsuma from 9 and his group of villains. Now we have to talk about the main 2 characters of the movie. Deku and Bakugo definitely stole the show for me in this movie. This movie really does show how much these 2 characters have grown throughout the series, and how All Might's words to win and save impacted them back when Bakugo and Deku fought for the second time, and what they were willing to risk and do just to beat 9 and save everybody. Now, I can't really talk too much about the plot without giving away everything, but I believe Heroes Rising will be a more important movie than 2 Heroes was due to certain things that we find out and learn throughout the movie. With all that said, I thought Heroes Rising was an amazing movie that had me on the edge of my seat going through all of my emotions, and it was definitely leagues better than 2 Heroes was. As soon as the villains show up to the island, it's just non-stop action, and it was incredible. I'll give Heroes Rising a 9 out of 10 only because since I am all caught up with the manga, it really made the movie a little bit more enjoyable to me. Still, whether you are a manga reader or an anime only watcher, Heroes Rising is definitely a must watch for any fan of the series. Now this will conclude the non-spoiler section of the review, which means I will start talking about the major spoilers that happen in the movie. So if you don't want to hear my thoughts on these major spoilers, then click off of the video now. But of course, before you leave, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. Now let's get into all the craziness that went down in Heroes Rising. Let's first start off with the craziest thing that happened, and that's Bakugo getting One For All. I honestly did not expect this to happen. Well, I mean, I knew it was gonna happen due to all the leaked spoilers and promos, but it was honestly still a big surprise that Deku willingly gave Bakugo One For All, knowing how much it meant to him. It does play into his character development with him being able to make the ultimate sacrifice, giving up One For All to win and save the day, which was a big callback to what All Might said to both Bakugo and Deku after their second fight. And I got to say, the One For All Deku and Bakugo tag team against 9 was so epic and was pretty emotional, with Might Yu playing in the background, since during the epic fight you really feel like Deku really is about to not have the power of One For All anymore. Now, the thing that really surprised me the most was that the users inside of One For All can reject a new user, and all of One For All's powers had returned back to its previous user, that being Deku, of course. I did think it was kind of cheesy that after it was all over and Deku got One For All back, that Bakugo lost all of his memory of him receiving and using One For All to defeat 9. Now, another crazy thing that happened in the movie that makes Heroes Rising more connected to the manga was Dr. Ujiko being able to do quirk duplication. We recently learned in the manga that Ujiko was capable of duplicating quirks, and was the main reason as to why he was still able to create Nomus even without the help of All For One. I'm still hoping that the manga will go into a little bit more detail on how he was able to duplicate quirks, but it was still pretty cool to actually see that Ujiko had duplicated All For One's quirk and gave it to 9, which makes me think, will Shigaraki get a duplicated version of All For One's quirk as well when he completely finishes the full process of getting this new power from Dr. Ujiko? Another big manga tie-in that I thought was pretty cool was Shigaraki's wish to destroy 9 coming true. For those of you that don't know, in the manga, 9 made a cameo along with plenty of other people and places that were shown to be all of the things that Shigaraki wanted to destroy. And at the end of the movie, when 9 got team rocketed away by Deku and Bakugo, Shigaraki is actually the one to finish off and kill 9 by decaying him. I thought this was the perfect way to tie in and finish off the Shigaraki and 9 beef that we saw hinted at in the manga. Also, let me just quickly say that Todoroki was a badass in the movie, especially the way he just froze Chimera from the inside out, which was just, I don't know, it was just crazy to actually see that happen. Also, there was one big thing that happened that kind of got me a little mad, which I guess it's just me being a little nitpicky, but at the end of the movie, All Might called One For All, All For One, which made my brain hurt because you could tell that it was an obvious mistake, which I think shouldn't have happened, but who knows, maybe I misheard what he said, but I'm positive someone at Funimation is getting clapped by Chris Sabat right now. But besides all that, Heroes Rising definitely surprised me in many ways with the way it tied itself in with the manga, wrapping up the 9 and Shigaraki plotline that we got in the manga as well, and especially One For All being handed to Bakugo. It was definitely a fantastic movie, and I can't wait to own it on Blu-ray. If you've seen the movie, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on it and what you guys thought about Bakugo getting One For All, because when I saw that, it blew my mind, and it was just a crazy amount of hype in the movie theater as soon as that happened. With that said, that concludes my review and thoughts on Heroes Rising. If you enjoyed the video, remember to Detroit smash that like button below, and if you like the content on this channel and want to see more, then subscribe to the channel to join the Show Bob's Hero Academia and become my hero. Also, don't forget to turn notifications on so that way you get notified when I upload a new video, as well as follow me on Twitter at ShowBobs5 so we can nerd out and keep the conversation going over there. Remember to stay plus ultra, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.